Hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new season of Nerd Central. Woo! We are so back. For those of you who don't know about the show, Nerd Central is your corner for everything nerdy and entertaining. And since this is my show now, let's jump right into the news and see what's happening in the nerd world today. The new Demon Slayer movie is here, and it doesn't mess around. As part of a 3-film story, the first one covers the first half of the final arc and has achieved an insanely high box office amount of $33 million in its first weekend. For reference, it beat out the first Pokemon movie, which held the title for the biggest weekend box office for an anime for 26 years. Overall, the movie has many positive reviews due to the fights, animation, sound design, and so much more. If you're not a Demon Slayer fan, this movie will definitely change your mind. Next up on the news, we got a trailer for the new season of Jujutsu Kaisen. The trailer showcased what is to be expected in the Culling Games arc, with shots focused on Yuji and his allies. Fans are excited for it, but sadly, we do not have a concrete release date for the new season. All fans have is a temporary date of January 2026, and well, that's it. Hopefully, we can get more news on the upcoming arc, as this has been one people have been looking forward to for a long time. Moving on from anime news, Marvel released a red band trailer for the new show on Disney+, Marvel Zombies. We see a ton of action and violence, and even some unique sequences that got fans excited. And to top it off, we got to see a zombie Thanos. Yes, you heard me right, a zombie Thanos. We even got to see what Blade can do in the trailer. So hopefully seeing him here can mean we get to see more of Blade in the future. And that is a wrap on the news. Man, is this how Noah felt hosting before me? This is great. But what do I do after this? Oh, PAX, right. What's a new season without new content? Take it away, crew.
It's the move of the night. Oh my, sick air.
Monster trucks aren't just machines. They're icons. They're innovators. They're legends. Welcome to Legends of Destruction. In this series, we look back at the trucks that redefined the sport, the drivers who gave them life, and the stories that made them unforgettable. And for our first episode, we start with a monster that bulldozed its way into history. The beast with the horns, Bulldozer. Created and first driven by Guy Wood in 1997, Bulldozer brought something brand new to the sport. The first ever 3D molded body. Its snarling horns and aggressive paint job set it apart instantly. Fans had never seen anything like it. Believe it or not, this legendary truck started out as a promotional piece for Smokecraft Jerky, but what began as advertising quickly became one of the most iconic monster trucks of its time. Over a 12-year career, Bulldozer passed through the hands of 18 drivers, and many of them, they went on to become household names. Tom Mentz and Neil Elliott with Maximum Destruction, Alex Blackwell and Captain's Curse, and Charlie Pauken with Gravedigger. Bulldozer wasn't just a truck, it was a launching pad for legends. Every appearance meant big air, jaw-dropping crashes, and a truck that fans could always count on to deliver. And Bulldozer's influence didn't stop with its own career. Its daring design, the horns, the personality, the spectacle, helped pave the way for another fan favorite, El Toro Loco, the fiery bull that would carry the horns into a new generation of monster truck fandom.
El Toro Loco and Bulldozer charge into stadiums with 1,460 horsepower, over 16 feet long, and weighing 10,400 pounds.
In 2022, Mike Harper, promoter of Monster Truck Wars, filed the trademark for Bulldozer. It sparked hope among fans. Could the beast return? Could we see the horns back in competition? But since then, silence. Whether or not Bulldozer ever returns, its place in history is secure. It was bold, it was unique, it was the start of something bigger. Bulldozer didn't just crush cars, it broke barriers, and that's why it remains a true legend of destruction.
Hey everyone, my name is Josh Oswald, and welcome to Mole Movies, where every week I watch a movie that's somewhat underappreciated, underground, or straight up forgotten about, and then I give you my thoughts on them and what I like so much about them. Don't worry, I won't be pulling any 1923 Serbian silent films told from the perspective of a sad shoelace, but we might get there eventually. So with all that out of the way, let's get talking about today's film, Memories of Murder, directed by Bong Joon-ho and released in the US on November 4th, 2003. Based on a true story, this film follows Detective Bak Do-man in a rural district of South Korea in 1986, struggling to catch a rampant serial killer who is specifically targeting young women. While not the most cheery subject matter, it's not an uncommon story archetype. Some might even chalk this up as a boring cop movie. However, if you really delve into what Bong is highlighting in this film, it nestles itself in a little pocket in your brain where occasionally you think back and remember a motif, shot, or moment, and reflect on what you thought of the scene and how it connected to the overall theme and how that affects you personally. For example, the film has a very green and drab color grading to it. Things look moldy, wet, dreary, and heavily desaturated for a lot of the film, but the opening shot starts on the face of a young boy, and the colors are vibrant, contrasting to the rest of the film and challenges you right out the gate in the first scene to perceive some kind of metaphorical undertone. To sprinkle in some more context regarding the film's plot, we don't only follow one detective. There are 3 directly working on the case, but we mostly see this case from the perspective of 2, Bak Do-man and So Tae-yoon. These 2 perspectives give you direct insight into the themes of injustice and system dysfunction, with just how much their styles of investigation clash. Bak Do-man seems to mean well, however his investigations focus more on finding a culprit rather than actually trying to find a killer who leaves no trace. So Tae-yoon is the exact opposite. He's more thorough, he's more intelligent, more calculated, and he takes his job very seriously. This directly opposes Bak Do-man's problem-solving approach, and this disparity is very good at highlighting not only what the problem is, but also what the solution is when it comes to police effort and investigations. Then finally, this all ties into a way bigger theme that sprawls across all fronts of the film, encapsulating the police injustice, unsolvable murders, witness discrepancies, goose chases, and personal confrontations. All of this plays into a dichotomy between chaos and order. Chaos is abundant in the film, there are misorganized crime scenes, random flying jump kicks, and lots of screaming and running, but the one thing that sticks out when it comes to all of this is the role order plays in it, or rather how the order fails in these situations. The police precinct's inability to get a proper investigation off the ground, while the killer remains traceless, the inability to get the information you want or question witnesses thoroughly without resorting to ridiculous methods, or how just wanting to do your job and catch a bad guy can be thwarted by means out of your control. However, I'm gonna have to leave it there. Saying more without spoilers is very difficult, so watch this where you can and form your own opinion. I would give Memories of Murder a 9 out of 10, and I highly recommend this to anyone who enjoyed films like Seven, Zodiac, and Insomnia. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a brand new season of Bearcat Update. I'm your new host, Hayden LaValle. Now I'm not the only new face you'll be seeing on Bearcat Update this season. BCU with the X has rebranded to Weekend Sports Report. Northwest Missourian sports writer Olivia Wallace will join Wiley Ray as they bring you live, in-depth analysis and play breakdown. For this and so much more, and to stay up to date on all the latest happenings in Northwest sports, tune in to Bearcat Update every Sunday at 2 p.m.
Welcome to the Content Corner, the show where I talk about anything entertainment and pop culture related. I'm Nicholas Givens. This week, we will be talking about a commercial that has been dubbed the scariest by many sources. And if the subject matter gives you a little deja vu, it's because I talked about this spot twice last semester on Nerd Central. We are, of course, talking about the infamous Joanna Cassidy Smokey Bear PSA. Now, this is not a full-on review, this is more of a mini deep dive. The premise is that it shows Cassidy talking about preventing forest fires, and she urges the viewer to
be extra careful, okay?
Then she removes her face, revealing that it was actually Smokey Bear speaking the whole time.
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
There are 2 versions of this spot, both of which I talked about last semester. The original from 1973 features a slack-jaw, open-eyed Joanna Cassidy mask, as well as a Smokey Bear puppet, which I said back in March to sum it up, looked not the best in the world. And there must have been a lot of complaints about it because they redid this spot back in 1980. The mask in the revision, for one, the mouth is not seen and the eyes are shut. Smokey here looks and sounds friendlier, but you be the judge.
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
So, a little backstory. I dug up this spot on the internet as a little kid. I was oblivious to how creepy it was because I was a 6-year-old in 2011 who heard anecdotes from his mother about Smokey Bear ads. I actually have developed an appreciation for both versions of this ad, because each version has their own unique charm about it. On one hand, you have the original, which if it was meant to be creepy, which I doubt it was, it did do an excellent job in achieving whatever goal it was trying to achieve, even if it meant the USDA Forest Service had to go back to the drawing board and revise it. Then again, the 70s were a different era. I mean, this is not the only creepy ad that came out in that era. 3 years prior, the federal government released an anti-heroin spot featuring a screaming monkey, for Pete's sake. And don't get me started on the tunnel sequence from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. There's a reason why I like the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka movie. I could go on, but I'm gonna stop here. I'm Nicholas Givens, and next week, we will be talking about the videos of one B. Dylan Hollis. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Hello, my name is Corby Reardon, and welcome to Now Screaming. I have covered loads of video games in the past on this channel, but I think it's finally time I switch it up. Let's talk about some horror movies. And not just any old movie, but some of the more modern after the whole pandemic stuff. Everybody loves a good scare. A movie that makes you tremble in your seat, cringe your teeth, or jump out of your socks. Are you looking for new experiences to add to your spooky movie catalog? Well, that's where I come in. And Now Screaming, I'm going to review all sorts of modern horror movies after the year 2020 and provide non-spoiler reviews about why you should watch them for yourself. Sound good? Well, let's hop into today's first movie, which is Smile. Smile is a 2022 psychological thriller written and directed by Parker Finn. This feature film was entirely sparked from the success of a short film called Laura Hasn't Slept, which came out on YouTube 2 years prior. When it comes to horror movies and their many strange gimmicks ranging from sharks, demons, leprechauns, and clowns, a movie about smiling seems like another one of those forgettable B-list discount bin movies. That is why it surprises me to say, Smile is one of my favorite horror movies in a long time. The movie tells a story around a therapist named Rose Cotter, who after a disturbing, unexplainable interaction with one of her patients, is left seeing eerie visions which lead her to begin questioning what around her is even real. Now, the movie may seem stupid when the trailers show an old man smiling at our protagonist, but trust me, when you're in the weeds of this movie, these moments start to make you squirm in your seat. After the chilling opening sequence, you will be gripped, waiting to see how the mystery unwinds. With a mix of psychological horror, gruesome moments, and classic jump scares, this is a wild ride all the way through that keeps you guessing to the very end. Now it's time to get into the PGS scale. What's that? Oh, you'll see. Plot. For the plot, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. It was pretty straightforward with one major twist thrown in, but it does have a great sense of irony, which I do appreciate. Gore. The gore is definitely a 4 out of 5. This movie wasn't packed full of gruesome kills from the beginning to the end, but when they did happen, they delivered. I won't give anything away, but towards the end of this movie, my jaw was on the floor. Scares. And finally, for the scares, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. This was genuinely one of the first movies to leave me uncomfortable with fear. I mean, as soon as the credits rolled, I just sat there for a while, just processing what I experienced. This gives Smile the PGS score of 4 out of 5. And that is all for this episode of Now Screaming. See you next time.
Like the old saying goes,
Out with the old, in with the new.
New Game Plus, your new place for everything video game
And tech related. With new wacky shenanigans.
and new packs from your new crew.
So get ready, we're skipping the tutorial with this one.
So watch New Game Plus right here,
Tuesdays at noon on KNWT.
And that is a close on today's episode of Nerd Central. Being the new host honestly feels pretty good. And if you enjoyed watching, then be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to never miss an upload. I've been Corby Riordan, and this has been Nerd Central. Stay nerdy.